Let's see if Denial have an answer for game 2, because SoaR looking very good. Game 2, picks and bans.
Still looking to go in. Benji made it out. Xenotronics over the wall. We'll take out Ionic. And now dashing forward. Xeno finds a double kill.
Mace in the face, turning back around, massive the jungle though. He just two-shot him! Gonna look to try and dash away, but the ball's already there. And Benji recognizes that, doesn't use his dash, ults in place, gets the stun, turn around, kill 2v1.
I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see Denial Esports either pick or ban either the ISIS or there's not one specifically that I want to see.
I told you the issue.
You just can't give them that double comp.
They should have taken Jingwei. Airstrike the ISIS and everyone's happy.
Hey man, maybe that would have been it. Except you would have just stacked up the circle protection and it would have done more damage.
No, yeah.
If you can't finish off the ISIS, you just...
They'll come back stronger.
They'll come back stronger.
Denial with the first ban. It will be on Raijin once again, shot at Hurriwind. In response, we're going to see Thor banned out by SoaR. So they don't want to give that one over to Mast.
I think Denial Esports would first pick it if left open for Mast. And you can see Denial Esports, they also don't want to deal with the ISIS. They're going to keep it out of the hands of Hurriwind. So we're going to have to switch it up.
I was going to say, well, they banned Zeus last time, I believe, but so now SoaR going to have to do it themselves.
SoaR?
SoaR is available for Denial again if they want to take it. But it will be SoaR. SoaR was the one that slipped through last game. Sorry, that was banned last game, slipped through this time because we saw the focus onto the ISIS.
I'll be interested to see if SoaR Gaming go SoaR a wheelish here, or if they'll just pick the SoaR, and it's actually going to be Janus.
Janus locked in for Hurriwind in the mid lane as well. When we see the SoaR come out here, Khepri is available as well.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no.
And there we go.
I'm like,
yeah,
I was just surprised that Khepri was available at the game. Not only against anyone specifically, but against Jigz.
I'm pretty sure game 1 was Khepri, Raijin, Zeus, and Sol were the bans. And now this time, because of that game, well, Thor and Isis ban, which lets Khepri go through to Jigz. And we said it every time. I think I interviewed him last time. I was like, are you going to stop giving you Khepri? And I'm like, I hope so. I hope not.
That's just like Yannick back in when was it, last year? We interviewed him. He's like, just give me the tree. It was give me the tree, man, every single time.
Yeah.
Kuang going to be picked up. So not only keeping Kuang away from the hands of Homiefe, who has been has had the most dominant showings on Kuang, but also a very good counter to the Khepri. You're able to execute through the Revive ultimate.
We're going to see Shadowq go to Athena once more, just for that global presence of support for his team. And honestly, with Illusion on Kuang, imagine the combo you can have. And talking about combos, there's one now with Kali locked in.
But I mean, that's the thing, is that Kuang can execute through the Khepri ult. However, Kali is also immune to death with destruction. So it's interesting.
You think Kali ult could be like executed then, wouldn't you? If you like.
Hey man, hit up the devs.
Okay.
Tweet at Scott Zier. He'll probably be like, stop tweeting at me.
He probably.
Bans coming through. Hoyi kept away from Metyankey as Amaterasu locked away from Benji, and then back to the Xenotronics.
Osiris probably coming out from Denial again against Baskin, because they did it last time round, unless they wanted to switch things up. And the funny thing is, Denial actually gave SoaR the option in the solo lane there last time round.
And they took the Bologna early. Over the Vamana, yeah. And so they're like, Baskin, no. I would imagine Bologna's going to be picked up by one of these players and Osiris on the other.
I don't think Osiris with Kali in tow is necessarily the best thing, but Osiris versus Kali is a very good matchup for Osiris to slow him down, so maybe you do look to take Osiris just to take it away.
Okay, so Anhur picked up, in SoaR Gaming, they want the counter pick onto Baskin. They want to make sure it's something that he can have lane control and dominance in, because they do have the Kali, right? They don't want to get pressured out too early. They want to make sure that Homiefe can make it to the late game and become that hyper carry.
And with that, Kuang locked in as well. The illusion. When you take damage during the illusion, when you use it, you will come out of your illusion. So the dot damage is an important factor. And on the side of SoaR right now, Kali and Khepri both have that ability.
And now, Denial here. It's going to be Ravana for the solo lane. So
Osiris.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't think they have to go Osiris now. I was a bit more worried that Denial may look for to run it themselves. I mean, Bologna's still on the table. Why not?
I mean, Bologna's always the safe pick, but Ravana, I believe, beats her early, or at least it goes even. I don't know, man. Solo lane's always so wishy-washy, but it's going to be Sun Wukong. So, pretty big lane bully there. Gets a lot of free poke, and then it's just Ox form late game. Knock everyone up, disrupt the team fights.
Cause issues for the team, and there are your teams. SoaR, one game up against Denial. They're already in first place. Will they find game 2?
Force Jigz under the tower, doesn't get any stuns, but we don't need stuns. We've got damage. Hurriwind catches 2 in the current.
And he coming back
back in, looking for the Thunder Step. Immediately, Eagles rally, and he will not get the kill. Baskin survives, and now they're diving for Baskin potentially here. But Blink from Vetium, they're trying to force this enemy. This is a mistake because Homiefe double kill.
Here we are. Once again, Denial will be on the blue side of things. And let's look at... Oh, we're going to see Xenotronics in mid on that Medusa this time around with the Transcendent start. Vetium will be playing the Soul. And if there are any other interesting factors to look at here in terms of power potions, nope, no power pots for anybody.
Okay, so a little bit of Yaman here. The first one to bring out the Medusa mid in official SPL, or excuse me, official matches at Worlds, and we've seen him repeatedly go back to it here. I'll be interested to see how this Kuang is going to match up with the Medusa specifically. There's no like guaranteed like free combo. It's just about team fighting.
Well, the one benefit that the Xenotronics has combining with the Kuang, I guess, is the amount of burst damage that Xenotronics can get out. One acid spray can knock you just low enough for an execute. At the same time, the poison as well.
Also, Lacerate, you can lock someone in place, which is going to be very good. You kind of just silence them for that second, and that's all Kuang needs to get them into the threshold.
That. Now, the first time we saw Kuang originally, one of the combos was Agni and Kuang together, because Agni could set up the stun, we've put down the combustion, and then drive over the path of flames, and then Kuang comes in. Well, this is kind of a similar thing with that Lacerate, I guess.
And nothing too crazy early on. You can see SoaR actually not going to be starting at their speed buff. They're looking to control the mid-camp timers, but Denial, they're going to know this. They have a ward onto SoaR speed for the second game in a row, so they always just want to make sure where Homiefe and Baskin are starting out at.
That's a big thing here. Right Harpy's going to be taken now by SoaR, so we'll see where they transition to next. It's going to be the blue buff. Now, the ward is down from Denial here in that speed buff area, as you said. So now you're going to be able to see, you know, they're going to know exactly that the speed buff hasn't been taken yet, and they're already on their blue.
They're also going to know the timer, because what this does specifically for SoaR is it offsets the timers, and Denial, if they don't have vision of it, they're not exactly sure when things spawn. This tells them that this tells them that SoaR started at those mid harpies, so they're going to have a better knowledge of that timer, not risk walking over there. They're also going to know that the speed buff on SoaR side is going to spawn a little bit later, so they don't have to look for an invade. They can guarantee their own.
Well, because of that, because they started those mid harpies, they take speed and back harpies, do SoaR here, and it allows Xenotronics a little bit of farming mid, but he's not got the left-hand harpies just yet. But now that Mask has turned up after taking those imps, they will be able to share the experience on the left before SoaR can stop them.
And this is just safe farm for the Kali early on. She doesn't want to fight. She doesn't want to put herself into an awkward spot where she gets poked out. Kali just wants to farm up, and if no fight happens for the next 15 minutes, Homiefe is going to be happy. Actually, it looks like he's trying to pinch.
Yeah, Denial. They did look for the pinch there, force the illusion. Portal connects with Xenotronics, but he's not panicking because they saw a lot wasted. But after the stun came out from Homiefe there, immediately Purification was forced as well as Lacerate.
And that's a timer that SoaR is going to be very aware of, try and lock down Xenotronics. He does have a CC immune ult, so he does have, you know, kind of that option available to him. In the dual lane, though, it's SoaR gaming with control. This is not only Khepri, but Anhur as well. Like, this is basically guaranteed lane dominance against the Athena.
Great push power, but it is a Soul, though. Stellar Burst has great wave clear and very strong, but look at this bait in the jungle here.
Sneaky Homiefe. They're trying to find Xenotronics, but Xenotronics
it's
saw
a trap,
Hurriwind.
and he's got no illusion either right now, so he's going to get stunned. You see, you saw Metyankey jumping in there, trying to find the pillar to try and body block him more than anything else. Didn't find it, but they will get the credit of those back harpies.
That was actually Hurriwind there getting spotted by Xenotronics. He started to walk in lane. I don't know if he saw like the blades on Kali, because honestly, model is very important in this game when you're trying to hide around corners, and I think the blades might have been poking out. If not, it was Hurriwind just spotted by Xeno.
Hang on a minute. We just mentioned Metyankey rotated to that fight on his own while Jigz stayed in lane,
Yeah.
2v1-ing.
I mean, Jigz can't really kill anyone, right? Metyankey can jump and set up kills, and
But when did you see
the true carry is
that's crazy.
The bug is the true carry of this game.
That's a good point.
That's what you're missing here.
Oh, that solo lane is very spicy right now, and Benji eats it to the back of the mush. Goodbye, Sweet Prince.
Beautiful ult coming out from, from Hurriwind there. Lines them up perfectly and gets first blood. And, you know, you typically don't see those snipes connect, right? A lot of times it's like the players will be able to juke them in time, or it's just to get your team over there. It's like, maybe I'll hit, but Hurriwind lined that up to kill him.
He lined it up perfectly as well, because Baskin was like, guys, you can come over and gank this now because I'm just going to get my Sun Wukong ult just in the time. You saw Benji was committing for the fight.
And here's the thing, too, honestly. If Benji backsteps to avoid it, Baskin finishes him off with the Sun Wukong, so it's just perfect. It's like Benji either walks into the Janus ult and dies, or he backsteps and Baskin finishes him off.
Speed buff goes the way of Mass, forgets to pick it up. We'll go back and get it the second time, though, and now he'll head mid lane. Left-hand side here, you can see SoaR pressure in the Buzz on Sorry, on...
They've
Denial's on the
spawned
map.
for now, and it looks like Denial, they don't want to give it up, and actually here comes the rotation from Mask as well.
Good
But
taunt.
Met's taunt, excuse me, dash is down.
The taunt's good, but where's the follow-up? Vetium's there with the Supernova, but he's a little bit off the mark, mispathed where Metyankey was going to go to. So Metyankey and Jigz just walk away.
Vetium, I think, underestimating the amount of damage that his ult does there. It barely poked Metyankey at rank 1. He also only has boots 1. He hasn't backed it, so he doesn't have the penetration and power to really back it up. Right-hand side, Baskin.
Stealing blue.
And this is, man, this is brutal coming out from SoaR, because now 2 games in a row, they've gave Baskin an early lead. And Baskin is very good at taking that lead and making it just even further ahead.
And so generally whenever they get the first kill onto Baskin or give him the assist more than anything, a little bit of less pressure, he ends up coming out on top of these lane matchups. And it's just a good little play. I mean, Baskin and Benji were so close over that solo lane. You saw both ults were used. If Baskin comes crashing, I don't think he had enough to get the whole kill on his own, but he did have follow-up coming, and it would have been, you know, continuing backwards and forwards battle between the two.
And I like what SoaR Gaming's doing, right? Last game, we saw them with their Thor Isis, right? The Guan Yu as well, and it was all about invading and getting, not necessarily early kills, but guaranteeing the jungle buffs, making sure they got a massive lead, and then forcing the Gold Fury. This game, they've got a different composition. They're doing a little bit of a different style, right? Where it's kind of like, let's just focus on laning. All we want is the Kali to get to late game. Then we have the Khepri to combine with it, as well as Janus, who is so good transitioning into those late game team fights.
We're only 5 minutes in. First blood did go the way of Hurriwind in this one. He's working on his Doom Orb, up to 16 stacks, I should say, right now as he's heading to the back harp. He's here, now working on his boots. Meanwhile, Xenotronics with his first base will get that Transcendence online.
A little bit worrying for him, though. He's only got boots 1, and while he does have a dash, needs to be very careful with his positioning. Homiefe with speed buff and boots 3 should be able to chase down the Medusa, so you always have to be aware of where the junglers are. Hurriwind as well. He can portal players in and out, and honestly, that's going to be a free chase.
Found up in mid lane, Hurriwind going to head to the back harp. He's no, going to head back to base here, probably looking for the next level of his boots at best, and a couple of more wards to go with it. Ravana just continues to farm up, and it's pretty much the same pace of style of game as the last game, too.
Excuse me, SoaR, I think, kicked it up on the first speed buff spawn here, or maybe it was the second. I don't recall, but so far they've just been making sure to stay alive. Benji going to find Baskin in the jungle, and actually it's Denial once again to force the Gold Fury.
But
and
against
SoaR
Anhur.
grabbed it. SoaR's holding it.
They are holding it. Metyankey's got it, and now Jigz is coming in. Taunt though onto Hurriwind's going to force Purification and the portal away. But now the follow-up is there with the Petrify as well. Supernova, SoaR do get the Gold Fury, but now they're going to have to run away. But the Meditate is good from Jigz. Impale off the mark from Metyankey, but it was nice enough.
Actually, bye-bye Hurriwind. Gets a little bit caught trying to help his team escape, and he's going to fall. So Denial do manage a return kill, but a really good job by SoaR. That was a risky play that I think they got a little bit lucky, paid off there. Metyankey looking to confirm the Gold Fury with his ultimate, was able to do so. Speed buff?
No.
Goes
Mass
to
says
Mass.
no, I'll pick it up this time, and now they're looking to collapse on Baskin, who has to use his ultimate. He's just going to wait up in the sky for a few moments, trying to get some heals. Jigz is around, though, and Jigz does have his ultimate in case he gets in too much trouble.
And this should be fine for Baskin here. He doesn't have an escape.
Couldn't get in range. Couldn't get in range. The taunt came out, followed by the last wave.
And that was Jigz, actually, instead of going towards the Fire Giant and exposing himself, he was trying to make it sneaky hide around the corner so he doesn't get targeted out. And
he was looking for the MVP highlight play. That's what it was.
I mean, that was also Shadowq, right? The taunt. It's not even just the CC. It's, you can actually move. He actually moved Baskin away from the Khepri so he couldn't get in range of the revive.
Now, we always talk about teams that they end up going in one after the other to try and help each other out of bad situations, but that's also a sign of a very good team. Enemy, they're ones that go in, you know, and if one of the teammates gets caught, they help them out, but sometimes they get punished because of that. And
they always
kind of happening with SoaR now, too.
They always make the call. It's always just, let's go in, like, this is the call, follow up, but sometimes the call is wrong, and that's the only problem there. Baskin, I don't think he expected all 4 members to rotate to save that speed buff.
Petrify in mid lane does connect with Janus there, but the body blocks again. We've seen this multiple times from teams. However, he did buy enough time because they were waiting for that Khepri ult to waste out.
Be careful, Benji.
He's going to get out, but Benji might clean this up.
Does have the portal. Mystic Rush is available, but electing not to use it. So Benji, not sure that he could confirm the kill. Plays it safe here. Speed buff is being started by Homiefe, but Benji's not going to give this one up for free.
Yeah, this is a good call now from Denial because with the forced Hurriwind back to base here with no through space and time, the team can rotate in. Master is here alongside Shadowq, looking for the speed buff at the moment. Dragon to him. The speed goes to one team. I'm not sure which at the moment. It is going to be the way of Denial, so they win that engagement.
Looks like they're just trying to get out now. You can see Jigz just frontlining with Baskin. However, Homiefe, with that low of a health, he doesn't want to re-engage the fight. And SoaR Gaming here, they still do have a lead, but They lost their speed buff, so that's pretty big on Kali, who likes to move around a lot.
Talk about moving around a lot. I love the difference in the two hunters here. You always see Metyankey making these rotations from the dual lane a lot quicker. He came all the way to mid lane there. Meanwhile, the other style of hunter is the farming option, which is Vetium. He looks for the late game for the team fights there. Metyankey's looking to fight early if he can.
And you could see that as well, right? Vetium right now has a 200 gold lead, despite Metyankey having that early gold fury. So is getting a little bit more farm. You can see he back to finish full Dynasty played Helm, which means he should be able to box Metyankey okay now, as long as he doesn't get hit by the full combo.
Benji going to be looking towards Baskin again, who's pretty much not just ignoring him in the lane now. That's kind of what happens with the solo lane anyway. He's going to return back to base and finish off with the breastplate of Valor. As Benji looking around in the jungle, see if anything's up. Back hop, he's about to spawn. He may find him, or maybe he's going to proxy the wave.
He's just going to proxy the wave. This is the sign of a solo laner that's just like, I just feel like proxying the wave. They do it all the time. I'm not exactly sure why. But Benji here, he's going to be up here. Mid lane, Shadowq in a little bit of trouble, does get plucked out, and the rest of the team is around him. There comes the Petrify, hits Hurriwind in the back line. Shadowq might be able to make it out in time, and Mass with a beautiful knock-up and a lockdown from Xeno.
That was an alley-oop if I've ever seen one. Benji then kills Hurriwind on the back as well to clean that. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Beautiful little plays coming out from Denial. They've got the lead now.
And Jigz held his ultimate in both situations there. I think the Benji around the corner was the surprise, but doesn't elect it, or actually, honestly, couldn't get it off onto Homiefe because the combination after the knockup was just perfectly executed.
That was just amazing. Like, Mass just bought him time, and then Xenotronics is like, oh, I can kill him here. Found the exact lacerate that was important for him. Looking at the red buff now, unfortunately, it's a little bit too early because it's not flashing just yet. The whole jungle on the left is down. Golfy is still not up for a while. So instead, they're trying to pick the ever-rotating Metyankey there.
He's going to read it, though. He'll backstep, and the red buff has spawned, but actually, the team's going aggressive in the mid lane, and Jigz is a little bit of trouble here.
And there's the ultimate forced onto him as well. Supernova now. Jigz in trouble, in place.
No!
Not enough damage for the kill, though. He somehow managed to survive.
Wow.
One more of anything would have been enough. So Jigz will get away.
That was surprising. I'm not exactly sure how Denial weren't able to successfully lock him down, but
well,
Jigz
that
barely managed to get away.
Hang on, taunt in mid lane. Going to force out the purification on Homiefe as well. But why that happened, Metyankey made a really good play then. They were all focusing on his jungler, and he stole the red buff for his team. He took it away from his mid lane, but he kept it for his team, which is important to make sure that experience goes your way.
Because with Jigz back there, honestly, Denial should have been able to force the red buff, and Hurriwind, once again, in a little bit of an awkward spot. Shadowq not in position to follow up, but Shadowq has been the man for me on Denial. Just so aggressive, just constantly taunting, and once again, no purification.
Into a petrified deletion of Hurriwind. Jigz can only stand and watch, no ultimate available for him. Now they're going to swing around and look to invade the speed buff. Baskin recognizing it is like, nope, I'm having none of that, my friends. I will go back to my solo lane.
This is really surprising me. For me, looking at SoaR Gaming specifically, because that time was a little bit of a surprise, but I mean, Shadowq's been doing the same thing on cooldown for the entire game, and they just don't seem to recognize that. Even in that tower there, all three players were grouped up. They have to
Benji
expect this.
Trying to pressure the blue buff, going to get ulted by Shadowq here to give him support to secure it away from Baskin. Nice little play, but it did relieve the pressure of the Gold Fury there, which, let's be honest, there was Hurriwind was spawned again with the through space and time.
And Denial, honestly, they could look to force the Gold Fury at any time. They have not only the Hunter in mid, but they have the Soul as well. Very good against objectives as well as Supernova. You can drop it, all the ticks onto that one spot, and it's not, the same as an Ice Assault, but it's very good secure.
And for the most part, those Petrified combo that we see coming out from Denial, it's something that everybody saw when Medusa was first released, like, oh my god, Athena together with Medusa will be amazing. And it never really was that big of a deal. Now and again it happened, but when it's mid lane and you've got Shadowq here hitting 2-3-man taunts, it's so much more impactful.
And the thing too is last year there weren't relics, right? They were active, so it was 90 seconds on purification, very hard to get that combo off regularly, but Shadowq, he just goes in, forces purification, and then resets. The team doesn't commit. Wow. Gold Fury has been started here, but it doesn't look like Denial's going to be committing on that either.
I mean, they got through space and time from Hurriwind for free, so they don't have to worry about it. If you notice as well, no teleport available for Benji, so he's got to manually rotate over here. This is allowing Baskin, though, to get a bit of free poke on this tier 1 tower. He should be able to chip it down to about half health now on that right-hand side before Benji can even make it back to the lane.
He is going to make it back to the lane, though. He'll be fine. The Soul Laner's pretty equal in farm, despite SoaR having that first Gold Fury.
Meditate for both. I love what Shadowq did there. He expected him to war around the corner. You see that little dash? He was looking for him around the corner, find the taunt into another petrified.
And you see these sentries right here. It's going to be very important for SoaR to have control of those as much as they can. Right now, there are 3 in their inventory. Jigz is probably going to, or excuse me, Hurriwind will probably counter that one right there to the left of him. But that's where Shadowq's been hanging out. It's just like sits around the corner, waits for the team to kind of get to the edge of the tower, grouped up, dashes forward, instantly taunts.
Now, Homiefe here on the call. He's been quite quiet so far with that one death, but he's got Blink now, and he's nearly finished off that Fatalis, and that's kind of go signs for a Kali player at this stage.
And the problem with Kali early on is she has to initiate with her dash, right? If she wants to chase someone now, Homiefe going to be able to get onto her target as soon as possible. And actually, who killed her last time? It was Xenotronics, or was it Mast? I think it was Mast got the kill with the water illusion, I believe. So Mast is the target. You have to imagine Homiefe is waiting for that water illusion.
To keep an eye on that one is Hurriwind found up mid lane. Taunt looking for Homiefe, but he jumps away immediately. You saw how quickly Hurriwind was like, nope, I'm out of there.
No more of this. I've died 3 times to this same combination, and that's one thing that I always notice about Hurriwind. Very good player, but his positioning sometimes gets him into trouble, and so far, that's what we've seen in this game.
Well, position from Denial's a little bit off. His Gold Fury's been looked at by SoaR now. Luckily, though, they do have Vetium on that left-hand side, trying to contest it, as we're still tuning in with Masters. The Gold Fury's going on here.
Through space and time as well, going active, and Homiefe is going to be able to pick up Shadowq. And I think that was the through space and time was able to hit Shadowq as Denial were trying to contest the objective.
Yeah, I think that's what it was there. So Gold Fury stays standing, though, so it's not too bad for Shadowq to die there. Obviously, his respawn's not going to be too long, and he will have his ultimate to try and contest again if they look at it. But instead, everyone just goes back to farming.
And actually, Denial giving Vetium the red buff there. Left-hand side, actually, a gank going on to Metyankey. Mast does have his his blink. He does use it. Met in a little bit of trouble. And Mast actually water illusions away instead of aggressively. A little bit worried about the rotation from SoaR, but no one was in sight. That should have been a free kill.
Just poke him down more than anything else. I mean, he didn't take any damage from that when you think about it. He's going to force Metyankey back to base for a little bit here. Maybe they can look at the Gold Fury off that as well. Now they see Homiefe on that right-hand side, who just stole away. No, did they steal away the buff? They did, you know. They stole away the buff. No, I'm confused.
Which
Benji
buff?
stole it. Benji stole the blue buff.
Okay, that's what it was.
I'm pretty sure Benji stole the blue buff there, but he didn't pick it up unless it's Baskin's.
Maybe.
Why did it look a different color? That was
I don't
weird.
know, man.
It didn't look real. That was the issue.
Who cares? Soul laners, they steal buffs all the time. They proxy waves. They're all doing the same thing, and it doesn't matter, right? They're just poking, and then they come into team fights, and that's when it matters.
And at the end of the game, they go herped up. Look at your player damage, lol, noob, and like you hit a brick wall all day.
Yeah, it's like 50% of the damage was just like meaningless poke. What was the old saying? Vulcan, fake damage.
Fake damage on
the
Vulcan.
Fake damage on Vulcan. That was old Vulcan.
Well, Gold Fury has been pulled again here by SoaR at the moment. They've been looking to clear out wards, but Baskin's made the rotation here as well with the teleport, so they know what's up Denial this time round. All with ultimates available. Shadowq going to try and put some pressure on Baskin to allow Vetium away from the danger zone, but Shadowq is annihilated instead, and Homiefe gets the kill.
Really well executed by SoaR, and honestly, that's been Denial's engage. With Shadowq down, they can't line up to Petrify as well, and Baskin just going to zone for now. Mast actually gets Baskin very low. That is a decoy chasing after Xeno, so Mast's going to make sure not to execute it. We've seen that happen before.
SoaR gets the Gold Fury for themselves. 5-3 is the tagline for that. They took out Shadowq. Meanwhile, though, Benji trying to answer back with a tier 2 tower in response to that engagement.
His wave's about to end, though, and you can see the massive rotation coming out from Denial. Mast just trying to zone SoaR off of being able to stop this. Really well played by him. And honestly, SoaR Gaming, going back to that Gold Fury, they recognize that Shadowq is the only problem they're having in this match, that he is the entirety around what Denial is doing, that he sets up everything. Mid lane, though, Shadowq's going to be back.
The blink was hyped from Mast, and now the execute is there. Jigz.
The meditation.
No, the meditation kept him alive just in time. You have to meditate right on point just before he hits you with the ult for that to happen. So the meditate stops the ultimate from executing him through his ultimate.
That was
just a weird thing to have to say.
Oh, man. And Jigz recognized that, too, because he was the one, like, he's going to ult himself, and then immediately he's going to fall. So now that he has meditation, he can keep himself alive when he gets picked off. And in that situation, he should have been dead, but just really well timed.
And if he did die there, we would have seen potentially the tier 1 tower fall in mid lane as well.
I guarantee you we would have saw that fall.
Would have been a lot more pressure for them, especially with that ultimate. Homiefe, though, in the jungle around the Gold Fury here. I was wondering if he's going to look towards the left-hand side for Vetium, but it looks like Metyankey's like, nope, I'm heading back to pick up my chins, which he does go do. 17-minute
shins here for Metyankey. Gonna start to be doing a good amount of damage. Denial just going to be grabbing the red buff. 18 minutes in, 5-3 in kills. Denial, though, has the slight gold lead, and here comes Shadowq looking for Jigz. Don't think he's getting out of this one.
Shadowq was just on the mark with that taunt, just dashed around the corner, saw his opportunity and found it, and Jigz deleted once more.
Right-hand side, speed buff was picked up by Homiefe. He's getting, Benji going to be boxing out Baskin. Actually really wants to steal these back RPs as well, and this is just a distraction because Denial, they're able to force this tier 1 in mid.
Well, the last time they tried to take out Jigz, they couldn't find it, but they will this time. Metyankey, though, committing heavily. The tower will stand because of that leap over the wall from Metyankey and the combination of Hurriwind, but round the back is Benji. The taunt from Shadowq hits Metyankey, forcing the purification. Benji's trying to tank up what he can here.
It's going to be the tier 1 tower to fall right now. Met actually taking a good amount of burst, and you can see the acid spray hitting Homiefe in the back line as well.
Adonis, this Medusa Sol combo of the damage from
the poke,
the spit, acid spit into the stellar burst is just so much.
It's just a lot of poke coming out from Denial, and even Mast, right? Because it's the double poke from the Medusa Soul, and then Mast blinks in, hits Lightning Storm, and realistically, they should be an execute threshold by then.
6-3, 19 minutes in. Only, actually, no. Is it just two goal furies so far in favor of SoaR? But it's actually in Denial's favor, even though 2 goal furies now.
2,000 in the lead at 20 minutes really isn't a lead. I'd say if this was like 5K, then it looks like a team has a lot of momentum. A good amount of towers have been taken by Denial, though, and that's kind of their lead, right? They have, what is that, 2,500 in towers. They haven't had one of theirs drop, so it's really just the objectives around the map, and it looks like Denial starting to get aggressive. You can see pings happening. Red buff just spawned. Shadowq is going to be able to see this and wanted to back out, but decides against it now.
Just trying to find picks in the jungle. Shadowq there as usual.
That was a taunt.
Impale comes out from Metyankey there, not going to find it. Taunt and Root misses, but Abduct connects onto Xenotronics. Oh, purification. Homiefe on point, looking through space and time off the mark. Nice Sanctuary as well from Xenotronics, trying to juke out of an awkward position, but he still go down. Mask gets one as Hurriwind picks himself up a double.
Really good job by Mask there. The team still falls in the end. He actually knocked up Homiefe, who is chasing down Xenotronics, looking to get the kill, and then immediately followed up by Vetium as well. Mask does get it with, I think, the last tick of the Dragons, but SoaR Gaming, right? When they can find a player and just burst them, that's when we're seeing them win these engagements, especially if one of those players is Shadowq.
Chilling with Metyankey over in that solo lane again, who trapped out multiple times in these engagements and found himself out of position so far, but sadly, only 4 assists. No kills.
And, you know, he's just kind of roaming around right now. He's staying even in farm with Vetium. You can see has about a 300 gold lead. Not really too much.
Not between 2 corners anyway, that's for the most part.
That's a mage.
Okay.
I'm just a
Smarty pants.
Hey, man.
Smarty pants.
I gotta prove it sometimes. Every once in a while.
Go on then. Tell me some more knowledgeable facts, Adonis.
SoaR just hit level 18.
Good job.
Denial and SoaR are currently playing. SoaR won game 1.
I'm really impressed so far because you're actually learning to read the screen more than I've seen you do all season.
Hey man, I normally just cast with my eyes closed. I just go based off sounds. What if I could cast with only sounds? That would be incredible.
I think I could. Should we try it?
No, this is too big of a game.
We'll try
it on a different game.
I think I could. Charge from Shadowq.
You really did have your eyes closed.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so Xenotronics in mid lane is going to continue farming up. The group to the left-hand side here, but a response from SoaR, but SoaR are actually not realizing that, going to force purification on Hurriwind. Through space and time being fired here, they're looking for full commitment.
They're looking for Shadowq specifically. Shadowq recognized that he's going to ult out, should be able to get out away in time, and he is. And this is the thing, right? Denial, when they're the aggressors centered around Shadowq specifically, they've been pretty much handedly winning the engagements. But when that taunts down, you see SoaR realize that they have the opportunity to take control of the fight, and you see them start to go aggressive. Hurriwind is always ulting his team through, and then Homiefe looks for a squishy player in the back line.
With that all being down from Hurriwind, the starting up Gold Fury here are Denial, and immediately Baskin comes in to poke them out a little bit, force the reset. Benji in amongst the pigeons as per usual. Baskin getting very, very low, and that dot is hurting heavily, but he will regen, and he's going to have to get out of this fight, so SoaR may have to relinquish it. No through space and time, and immediately Baskin collapsed on.
Just barely. Mast actually burns his ultimate as well. Stellar Burst doing so much damage to the backline. Mast is able to lock down Hurriwind in the back. Homiefe needs to kill Xenotronics, but can't do it. It's Benji over the wall. Homiefe finished off, and it's a 2-0 in favor of Denial.
That was a great fight coming out from Denial again, and this is going to be looking like it will go the Gold Fury the way of Denial once more and continue extending their gold lead.
look at this. Mask with the highest damage in the game right now, 14,000. He is doing so much work. It's just, you could see the amount of burst he has. He's got Polynomicon as his third item, right? He's got Rod of Tahuti and Obsidian Shard online. This is 23 minutes in. Can we highlight over Kuang real quick? I want to see how much magical power he has.
That's what we'll have
450. That's, for 23
it's
minutes,
a chunk.
That's good.
With Polynomicon as well, yeah, that's going to swing. Tier 1 tower falls down the left-hand side. They're looking for the Tier 2 as well. There's still 2 players dead on the side of SoaR, but their defense isn't too weak. Or is it?
Oh, actually, a 3-man root and a 2-man taunt. Here comes Master around the corner trying to annihilate someone, and it's Baskin, the first to fall. Metyankey, his dash is down, but Denial, they're going to be playing it safe. They take out the Tier 2 on the left-hand side.
I tell you what.
It looks like they're going to be backing in unison.
I tell you what, if Denial win this game, they're really making a mark saying, hey, we are not out of the running for DreamHack at all. We may be mid-table right now, but we've just taken a game. I mean, they took games off Enemy at the start of the season, and now they take this game off SoaR as well. My, oh my.
Oh, SoaR.
NA so tight.
SoaR actually saw all of Denial back, and you can see in unison, they're going to be looking for the Fire Giant.
That's a good call.
There's no way for Denial here to get, oh, this is bad. Metyankey losing a lot of damage. That actually could be the cause that Fire Giant doesn't get completed in time.
We'll find out because now the boys are here. Shadowq's on his way around the corner. Will he be there in time? Desert Fury popped it still too early. Denial get the goal. Denial got it. Who stole that?
It was Vetium. It was actually the Stellar Burst, and he picks up a double kill as well. Jigz and Metyankey on full retreat, and listen to this. The spam taunts coming out of Vetium. Jigz here going to be executed as well, and now Mast, he's waiting. He's going to be able to lock down Metyankey here. Crashes down, does a lot of damage. 1 auto attack, and it's going to be Benji on a 3 killing spree. And Metyankey getting knocked up was the entire cause of that Fire Giant being stolen away.
And is this going to be the end of the game? Because it looks like we're going to see Denial looking to commit. They're going to look for the split, boys and girls. There's only Baskin here to defend, and I don't think he can do it alone, even with a clone. Athena comes in as well. They're trying to knock them all up and keep him busy, but the Titan falls, and Denial split with SoaR. I'm so surprised.
You gotta learn how to tank Fire Giant. Looking at Metyankey there, now the game was in Denial's favor to begin with, but that small knock-up, right, not only does he take a lot of damage, have to reset, but he misses about 4 auto attacks. That would have been a secured goal for you. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have been wiped either way, but it would not have been stolen away, and Homiefe actually might have had the time to react and jump away.
Now with that point as well, would you say somebody who should have been on zone duty there just to see them come
in?
No,
I think the thing is, like, was the full burst. They saw everyone back. They tried to just all in it. I think that was fine there. I mean, Jigz might have been able to zone, but I think the call was like, get as much damage on it as we can, and then immediately just back off, disengage, and make sure Denial can't get it.
And that's actually the game, to be fair. I expected Denial, from what we saw there, that they were in command of that. The Fire Giant call coming out from SoaR, I expected to probably even up. It looked like it should go their way, but the steal.
I mean, that's incredible, because we've seen so many instances of where improper tanking the Fire Giant has led to teams getting wiped, but that was actually 100% guaranteed by SoaR if Metyankey tanked that properly. Unfortunately, though, gets knocked up. Denial come in, get the double kill, clean up the rest, and then steal the Fire Giant and the game.
Let's go back to the beginning of this game, then. Xenotronics smashing people in the back with portals is his name, and also his game.
Hurriwind, has a really nice snipe here for First Blood.
Perfectly on point.
And that was just really well placed, where it's like either Benji gets hit or he forces the backstep, and then maybe Baskin comes up with the kill.
Hurriwind does well there, but like the real Janus players would have just not even gone through the portals. They would have just stayed in mid lane.
They would have just
known. Kill.
It's just like the fadeaway through.
Yeah,
You're
cool,
just like,
cool
I got
guys,
it. Just
cool
turn around. Don't even need to see it.
So obviously with that split as well, the standings, it's going to be interesting. But I mean, Mast as well had a pretty good game as well.
Phenomenal game on the Kuang specifically. We saw him, I took note of it, like doing 30% more damage than anyone else in the game. 15,000 next to, I think, 11,000 from the rest of the squad. And just a really good job of getting in and out. And it wasn't even just the place where he set up kills. It was also defending players.
Yeah, just defending players and getting in. But it's all the setup from the Petrify and that taunt as well, coming into it over and over again. Just allowed to sit at the back and poke, and then find the kills.
Like, Mast was allowed to carry because of Shadowq. Always coming in there, and then Mast, honestly, just really good target prioritization as well. Instantly purifies the root here. He's got a reset, and I think he picks up Hurriwind on the side. And Hurriwind, the thing that he's been suffering from all season has been his positioning, and honestly, it hurt him here. He had 3 or 4 very early deaths in the game.
Absolutely beautiful performance by both teams there, and credit to both of them. Like, that could have gone, I personally put SoaR there, but I don't think it was going to be that easy.
No, Denial were definitely, like, this. Obviously, SoaR lost that game off of the Fire Giant steal, steal, but at the same time, they were already behind. That's why they had to go for the risky Fire Giant steal. You can see SoaR still sitting in #1, a top enemy right now at 16-6, but Denial Esports starting to sneak in.
Hey, they're on the climb now, even with Eager. Luminosity just one game ahead of them coming into this, and guess what's up next? I just mentioned it.
We got Luminosity taking on Eager. The two teams currently sitting at 3rd and 4th. One of them, I mean, they're both trying to go to DreamHack as well. I mean, unless enemies start dropping games, though, it's really that 3rd spot that we're looking for.
Don't forget, though, we also have the return of Drybear. You've not seen him before. He's one of our original casting buddies, and he's been around the scene for a while. Now he works on design.
Helped create Tier Monster,
But
got
because-
hired for a caster.
Exactly, because of the charity event, obviously you guys hit the stretch goal, and that meant that he came back for one game, and he's going to come back to cast two teams that he pretty much knows most of the
This
players.
is going to be one of the best sets. I think SoaR and Eager are also playing. We have Paradigm and Pit. This is a really
It's a
good
great
week.
It's a great week.
Hungry for More and Dignitas both fighting for that 3rd spot at DreamHack as well. This is a great week.
Look at this, just so you can see, Luminosity versus Eager. We'll see Envy up against Allegiance, and that's another great game this week. It's only Thursday morning, like, wow, what a great day.
Envy and Allegiance have a ton of roster swaps. MLC Stealth on the bench. We got the Snoopy Yannick duo back. We got Cyclone Spin in the jungle for the first time as Omega makes his transition. And then Weekend back in the SPL. He's going to be jungling for Allegiance as Lassus makes his way into the mid.
Next up, we've said it, Luminosity versus Eager. Drybear will be casting alongside F. Enjoy the game and enjoy all the action we've got to follow that too.